just a hack. He's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
We're back here on Hack City. Joe DeLeone and Sean Anderson, two very tired individuals on New Year's Day as we are recording. Sean, you gave a little smirk when I opened. What was that little smirk for?
I turned my mic off, and then I was just glad it didn't pick up.
What do you?
The handheld is not as good as the Shure SM7B, but it is nice that I have a switch to turn it on and off, and I don't have to go click mute.
I should have known you were smirking because you shit your pants.
What else would I smirk about? That's all I smirk about.
Oh God! Talk about an early derailment. This might be one of our worst shows, and I'm just fully anticipating that. Sean, how are you feeling today after endeavors from New Year's Eve?
It's really ironic because it was the best college football I've ever watched, and it's probably some of the worst I've ever felt. I mean, really, the dichotomy of getting to see being blessed, as we all should feel, because I said it's going to end, and it's going to end. To be blessed with those two games, and then to at the same time destroy your body, it really shows you what humans are made of.
Where did you watch the games at?
We watched the first one at my house, the first half of Alabama, Georgia at my house, then went out, and then just watched it at a bar.
Got it. Yeah,
but are you guys? Is it tickets everywhere for New Year's?
Yeah,
it was tickets everywhere, and we were slacking all week. It was all sold out because everybody just bought them up at the beginning of December. Like, these are what our plans are going to be. Whereas me and my group, and me, we don't make plans like that. We see what's going on that night, and then everywhere's tickets. So we had to go to an area where there were no tickets. And it ended up being.
I'm sure that area. Oh, that I was going to say. I'm sure that the area was not.
No, it was packed because it was filled with a bunch of people like us. They're just like,
it's true. I mean, there's still got to be a crowd somewhere. No, it's the same bit and I did the same exact thing that I was like, oh, we'll buy tickets, we'll go to a bar, and then we kind of like handpicked a bunch of them, and then we didn't make a decision. And then the morning of, me and my friend Devin, who we ended up going out, we were like, we didn't pick a place, and all of them were sold out. We ended up paying for this freaking bar crawl. It was $40. And we just ended up going and staying at this one bar that we always go to watch games. And we just stayed there. So I wasted $40 for a couple drink specials. That was the
way to be a king.
But like, I didn't need to spend that $40 to get into the bar. The stupid thing is I paid for this dumb wristband, and all these other people were getting into the bar. We left and came back. You think that the wristband would get you immediate access, but instead I had to stand in the rain for 20 minutes to get back into this bar at like 11 o'clock. So again, big waste of money, big waste of $40.
I think we actually got out to the bars at like 10:45, 11. And we're like, oh, we're kind of close.
How did you get in?
We figured it out. We always do. One of the bars, because we had Uber communication difficulty on when we were calling it. So group one got to Old Town like 15, 20 minutes before us and was able to wait. They gridded out a line, and then we go, they were like, look, this ball's dropping in about an hour. So unless we want to actually not get drinks and stand in that line, we can do it, or we can go inside. And then the whole time, all I see after midnight, which synchronized with a game losing kick, again, blessed be us, was a bunch of dumb donkeys waiting in line, and that's how they got to celebrate. So I think we made some good judgment calls there.
I will say sticking at that one bar for as long as we did was the right decision.
It was. Same for us.
The bar was going nuts during that kick. There was some like 50-year-old guy that just every couple of minutes was screaming, "Go Buckeyes! Go Buckeyes!" And everyone hated this guy. This guy was the worst guy at the bar, and it was just all Georgia fans. It was a really great vibe, and I was chirping. Not like directly chirping the guy, but like, how
you're like,
and then you just like
I know
start
how
like
you
counter.
It's the
worst. You start counter doing it, but the vibe was great. Sean, I gotta say, man, I think I've finally hit my wall for going out. I'm over it. We stuck around at this bar after the game. The vibe was great during the game, and then afterwards, the bar was overfilled. So many people were just pushing people and like not knocking people over, but like it sucked. I don't like it wasn't fun being out late. I just had a bunch of people shoving me the whole time. And then we just kind of stood there. I don't know, man. I'm starting to get I think I'm like finally over it. I was getting close and close, but like I do not see the value in going to these venues, standing there, getting pushed around, getting pissed off.
Because you have a
and then
girlfriend.
leaving. No, it has nothing to do that with
Yeah,
that.
because that's why you go out to the bars to talk to
you and
girls
I-
and see girls.
It's true.
That's why.
There's less
You think I
motivation.
enjoy a lot of the aspects of bars?
I'm sure you're not very successful in talking to women either.
You. I would love to. You want to put resumes together? Is that what you want to do?
No,
You
I
want to
don't
put
wanna-
resumes together?
I don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that now.
I don't want to do that.
Okay. All right.
Sean, can we put together our betting resumes?
I would.
Took a bloodbath, but I recovered. I figured out a new dumbass way to hit bets at a very inconsistent clip, but it keeps
love
me
to hear
hooked.
this.
I started picking whoever plays the team that gives up the most made 3-pointers. I then do a prop parlay for the top 3-point making players on that said team. And the odds are so juiced. You put 2 guys in there, it's like plus 200, plus 400 odds sometimes. So like, I just need one of them to hit. My $5 bet turns into 25, but then I lose. I incrementally lose like 3 in a row, and then one hits, and then I'm hooked back into doing it. But that's the new dumbass.
So it sounds
strategy.
like you're doing some research and making a rational decision based off of that. Is that what it sounds like you're doing?
It's not really a coherent.
It's not really a get rich quick scheme like you were telling me about. All right, it sounds like you're actually doing some good, valuable research that a lot of people won't do, and then you're hitting a bet.
But it's 2 seconds of research, and I think it's a really convoluted approach. That it's not a really effective approach. It's not. It's my dumbassery wrapping my head around it, making it make sense, and I'm doing that at BetOnline.
I've completely flipped around on that at BetOnline. That's where if it makes sense, I don't take it. I have come to the point where I know too much, and I talk myself into something because I know too much. And then when I didn't know anything about betting, I was hitting bets, and then I started learning about betting, and then I stopped hitting bets. But what was I going to say? Oh, I got Tennessee helped me out this week. Took their money line. Go ahead, Clemson. Keep on sucking. I love that. Odds? Oh, it was great. It was like a plus 185 money line. Yeah, it was delicious. It was juicy. A delicious bet, and I took that at betonline.ag. That's where you can go. Or BetOnline. Yeah, BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, live scores, and almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet all of your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag. I was right. To join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit, make sure to use promo code BLEAV, BLEAV, to receive your rewards. BetOnline, where the game starts. And if you work at BLEAV, you can get a nice holiday greeting from Joe DeLeone, who sent me this email.
Eat shit.
Hi, all. Hope everyone had a great holiday weekend. Do you?
I'm going to email you directly.
I don't believe that you hope that I had a great holiday weekend.
No, I hope your weekend was terrible. I hope that it was terrible.
The same,
and I know
so don't
that
lie in your emails.
I love that you were texting me yesterday that you were up late, and then my responses were good. Like, I'm glad that you're up late. I forget what exactly I said, but I was
being mean for no reason.
I wasn't being mean. I was rooting for you to.
There's a text that we got to talk about. We did not. I did not get your recap on that.
Wait. We'll talk about it later. It's not that eventful. It's just funny. All right, Sean. Let's talk about these games. The show that takes 9 minutes to get to the actual point that we're going to talk about.
Of course.
So, game 1, TCU defeats Michigan in a very unexpected fashion, 51-45, and I think what has to be one of the craziest games that I've watched, which was obviously followed up by an even crazier game, maybe slightly less crazy, but regardless, both these games were fantastic. Main takeaway here. TCU came out swinging out of the gate in such an unexpected fashion that they had this level of juice, they had this level of energy. And frankly, Sean, you know what I noticed this whole game?
What did you notice?
Shut up. It felt as if Michigan completely looked past TCU. It looked like they thought that they were playing Cincinnati. It looked like they thought, we got handed the easy matchup in the playoff. No. TCU looked like they showed up ready to prove something. And the one key factor that played into this is how quickly they were able to score. So many splash plays, and these two teams went shot for shot at a certain point. But the one thing that it came down to, and the thing that we've said this entire season, is that TCU is too hard to keep up with for any team, and especially a team that is structured like Michigan. What are you making that face for?
Okay, you've said that. I haven't heard that narrative.
I've said that a million
I have
times.
not heard that narrative. I've been using the term magic team. That's the term that I've been using, which they are. And it was so fun because this game showed that these two teams deserve to be in the college football playoff. That is good. I think that means that people made right decisions, and all the Alabama fans can hold these and those and this. Because, look, congratulations. You won your bowl game. But look at these games that we just had. Look how competitive they were. These were the top 4 teams in the nation. And TCU also rightfully won.
So I want to, before we get back to the game, I tweeted this out twice, 2 different occasions, and I got a pretty good response on it. Those 2 games are perfect proof of why we need to expand the playoff. And it's being expanded. I am tired of listening to the old-fashioned anti-expansionists say, like, oh, it's, you're going to get all these blowouts. It's not good for the integrity of the game. It's not meant to have this many games. I promise you, with more meaningful matchups on the line, it is going to make things far more exciting. I don't need to watch Clemson versus Tennessee in the Orange Bowl in a game where they both were dicking around and putting in half effort. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see what happened with Kansas State, Alabama, where, again, clearly both teams don't really care that much. I want more meaningful games, and that is the direction that we're going in, and this is perfect proof that we're going to get that.
It was, and TCU seemed to, in that first half, I tweeted it out, got terrible response. I said TCU just, it was obvious, if you've watched football or played it, it was obvious that they wanted it more. They wanted it more on defense. They flew to the ball. They were thumping. They were running fast. They were swarm tackling. They on offense. They were confident, and they were trying. They looked like they had a plan. Michigan, Mr. Ground and Pound. If you line up in the 3-3-5, good luck. Hey, why are you airing it out so much in the first half, dummies? What was that? So it seemed like Michigan just said, let's slap this together. It's TCU. We can beat them. Kansas State just being her. But TCU said, no. Hey, all that's been talked about by us and by everybody, rightfully so, though, was we're not big enough. We're not going to be able to. We're not going to be able to stop Michigan. Michigan's defense is so strong, but hey, they came in and they wanted to play and they wanted to win and they wanted to prove themselves, and they did. And I was so happy to see them do that.
So you made a really good point about.
Thank you.
One, the strange. I'm allowed to acknowledge that you made a good point. I hate that you do that. Thank you. Like, you're surprised that
I'm just thanking you. You said something nice. Also very true that I made a good point.
And you managed to be very hubristic. Regardless, Michigan, very much so. Like you said, one, the offensive play calling was off, and as soon as they had to chase, it wasn't really working. They were able to put up a bunch of huge, big plays. Like, that is what kept them in the game, is being able to put up those big plays. But because they were so reliant on the pass, they made all those mistakes. They made and the interceptions that were thrown were because they were forced to do something that they're not comfortable with. And JJ was the guy who had to beat him, and he did not step up to the occasion. But the other thing, too, there were all these weird, cute play calls,
dude,
that they had. Like that stupid end around.
Yeah. The TCU's worst aspect on defense is their run defense, not their pass defense.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that decision making.
And then when it looked lost, JJ McCarthy busted out a 70-yard run. They tried some pass or some read option, and then he busted a 12-yard run and scored. I'm like, oh, well, that's what you should be doing. But it was so odd to see that was their game plan that they came up with.
I hate doing the officiating bit. I say this every time on the show, but do we want to acknowledge the no call touchdown?
Yeah, that was very odd. That was just odd, I'll say, because it's a touchdown. And
I don't know if I don't
No
know if I
matter
hate
which
the call though. Like
it's no matter what way you look at it. He's in the end zone with the ball, and he didn't have the ball till he was in the end zone. Rules allow if you're sitting down, if you were just to happen to sit down in the middle of the end zone, your quarterback tosses the ball to you, you catch it, it's a touchdown.
but he rolled in. Like that's where
He didn't
agree.
catch
It's
it until
probably
he
a
didn't catch
touchdown.
it until he was in. He was bobbling with it. Hypothetically, if your quarterback passed you the ball and you were sitting in the end zone and you tapped it up to yourself a couple times and then caught it, it's still a catch and still a touchdown.
I can't. With
It's a land of technicalities that I have to live in.
This is such weird mental gymnastics that you're doing to explain
I
the
am
call
simplifying
to me.
the call. I'm simplifying it. Like I'm talking to a 5-year-old, not you, but the audience and those that would oppose this. It should have been a touchdown. It was just odd. It was just odd because I'm like, why, what? I'm like, what rule is that? Not what world is that? You know what?
It was definitely a momentum shifter, and it sucks that part of the success is going to be slightly tarnished for TCU. Like we're going to hear this for the end of time that TCU shouldn't have been there because of that no call, and the officiating was bad the entire game. It was a serious problem throughout the entirety of that game. I don't want to.
How about you score more big points than the Big 12 team, and don't let them stop you on defense? How about you do that?
There's so many other
Big 12 team. Give me a break.
That's the good point. There is that there's so
Big
many
10
other things that happen in that game. Yeah, the Big
I'm a Big
10
12 fan now. I'm a Big 12 fan now. They had a BAPE collaboration in their championship game. I'm a Big 12 fan now.
I ordered some TCU merch when I started drinking before I went out. I ordered some TCU gear. So I'm officially a Horned Frog fan.
When do you think I bought my Tennessee hats? While I was drinking before a game.
Yeah, that's. Regardless, I do really believe that TCU is going to give Georgia more of a fight than I think we're willing to admit after we saw some weaknesses for Georgia. So a little bit of a weakness was shown by Georgia, which they also could be argued were looking ahead, and they thought that they were going to just walk past Ohio State 42-41, ended up being the final score. But so I think that was way more than Michigan in this case. I think that they absolutely thought that they were going to dog them.
Yeah,
but as they've done in every game this season where they have done that, they are still more talented enough to still claim the victory. They're still able to fight back and stay in the game. They're still able to string together those quick drives and get those key stops where they needed them. I will give credit where credit is due to Ohio State that had an unexpectedly great performance. And the one thing that they did, I respect the hell out of, is they knew where they had the disadvantage. They knew where it was. It was up front. They didn't say, we're going to try and grind it out with you up front. They said, nope, we're going to just throw the ball a million times. We're going to throw it to Marvin Harrison Jr. every single play, and we're just going to throw the ball as deep as we can and make as many big completions as possible. And that is what they're structured to do, which they kind of got away from against Michigan. And this is ultimately why they were able to hang around so long. What a lot of people speculated, I didn't think was going to work for them, but it ultimately did. And Ohio State had the guns to go in this shot-for-shot battle that they inevitably lost.
Yeah, Georgia didn't get out of bed until about 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Not good. Not what you're supposed to do. I think Kirby said it after the game. We're the better team, but Ohio State played a better game, and they did. And they should have won that game because they played a better game, but they weren't the better team. Whatever. And then also, I mean, have you seen anybody help the draft stock more than what CJ Stroud did last night? Have you seen anybody help themselves more? He really helped himself. And he helped himself with me, who was not I did not have him high on my big board. I don't make big boards because those are for dorks. But I did not have him high on my big board. And now, he might be climbing up. I wouldn't know, though, because I don't make big boards.
I did not. I did not have him high either. He's still a QB2 for me, and I need to do my final evaluations. But I was low on him coming into this game. I thought he was going to get his ass kicked, and he really stepped up to the occasion. They are the reason why they almost won that game. I have to say, and it's like a total skip ahead, completely missing all the other action that happened in this game. There was so much that went down. But coming down to that final drive, Georgia scores too quick. They give them too much time. Ohio State should have scored on that drive. I don't understand why they moved the ball, got into scoring position, and then they throw the ball way too many times on that last drive, don't move the ball, and then you put your kicker in a very, very tough situation to kick a field goal that is 50 yards, which I know is supposed to be makeable for a college kicker, but it, like any sport, being closer makes it easier.
There's no shot.
I don't know.
There was no shot that kick was getting made. There was no shot.
That was so goddamn far away.
But can you imagine having to kick through that air and the energy in the air?
That's my point. It's 50 yards is way more daunting than if they ran the ball twice and got up to like the 20 or the 25, which I'm willing to bet that they could have done the way that they were so easily able to move the ball at this point in the game. Getting up to the 20, way less pressure. It's way less nerve-wracking.
If that kick was 47 yards, he would have made it. It's the big 5-0. So
I don't know about
it's
that.
The big 5-0. Kickers, weird, finicky, odd. You can't ever really figure out if you have a good one until he's good. And I believe that Ohio State has a good kicker, but in that situation,
they don't.
He got hung out to dry. He's no Jake Moody, but he got hung out to dry by his team and his offense to go out there and say, save our year with a 50-yarder in opposing team territory. And it's not a neutral site, them playing in Atlanta either.
While I agree with his team hanging him out to dry and the coaching staff and the decision-making hangs him out to dry with that approach and not getting him closer, I am an anti-specialist apologist because I am a former specialist in college. And look, that kid's not a good kicker. The most important kicks, the only kicks that matter, are the ones in crucial and important situations. I don't care what kicks you make at any other point in the game. There are so many guys that can kick no-pressure kicks, but then shit their pants and piss down their leg on the field, and that's exactly what happened.
Did he do that?
Basically.
I missed that camera angle.
The way that he kicked it, it looked like he did. The thing was, it's not like a slight miss. He kicked it 20 yards to the left.
I know, it was doomed.
I'm saying
from 47, it's not 20 yards to the left. He might still miss it, but it's not.
I don't know, man.
That.
He's missing that thing. Unless that's like a chip shot, he was missing that thing by a mile, no matter where he was kicking
Joe, I'm telling you,
bad kickers miss those 50, kicks, and that is a bad
50
kicker.
Number. Some guys, when they have no hits going into the 7th inning, why do they give it up? Oh, because I'm 3 innings away.
I don't think those are directly comparable. I don't think that those are analogous. I don't think that's
analogous.
That's how do you pronounce it?
What do you mean analogous? I've never heard that word in my life.
Like I can make an analogy between the two things. Look it up.
I already looked up hubris today to make sure.
You didn't know what hubris means?
No, dude, I know what hubris means, but I didn't, or hubristic. I thought you were trying to punch in a suffix that wasn't originally attached to that word that should have been. So I
analogous. Analogous, comparable in certain respects.
That sounds like a part of your mouth. That sounds like something that's dangling in your throat.
In a way which sound like a real word. The nature of things.
I'm sorry, you need to have your analogous removed. That's what it sounds like.
It sounds like something like an unnecessary, like a tonsil. That's kind of like what it's.
Yeah.
God, I read books. Please just read. Learn to read. I remember you used to do the bit that you used to claim that you were smarter than me.
I am.
And you were like, what was the word? It was circumlocutive. And I didn't know what that word meant.
Of course you didn't.
I didn't know what that word meant. You had one good word.
It's a great word.
You had one good word that you remembered from freshman year of vocab class, and then you kept saying it to me, and you kept taunting me.
It was from a book that my aunt gave me. 100 words you need to know. Circumlocutive. On there. Bingo.
100 words you need to...
Enzyme was one of those that was in that book.
Oh, this book stinks.
Oh, I didn't enjoy it particularly, but it helped. I know a lot of words.
Was this high school?
Yeah.
This book stinks. I need to know the rest of these words. She got
her doctorate in English, so it's like, oh, okay. So
what does she do?
I don't know.
You don't know what your own aunt does?
More than you.
That's not what I meant. I meant what do you do for work? I'm a podcast producer.
Yeah, how does that sound?
I'm just asking, what does she do?
I don't know what she does.
Oh God, you're the worst.
Oh my God. How is that bad?
Look, I don't know. Look, to wrap up our point on this and to wrap this show, how do we feel after both of these performances? TCU, big swinging dick at the opposite side of things. Georgia, a little limp. They're having a little trouble right now. They got a little too ahead of themselves. Who do we think? Do we think that this is going to be a bloodbath? Like I think some people are going to predict, or does TCU step up and do they put up a legit fight like they did against Michigan? Because I'm going to be frank with you here, Sean. As much as Georgia looked weak in this game,
I'd prefer if you weren't frank with me. All right, it seems like you've been frank for the last couple minutes.
As weak as Georgia looked, if they're in their stride, if they're in their bag, and they play the way that they did last year against Alabama, I don't know if I can put a lot of faith in TCU, even though I'm going to be rooting for them. I will absolutely be rooting for them.
I'm going from Georgia's got it in the bag to it's Georgia's game to lose. And if they go out sleepy again and TCU decides to be hot, I'm not saying they're going to get 2 pick sixes. But what's to say that Quentin Johnson doesn't bust another 70-yard touchdown? Because Magic team, gonna make magic happen. Magic team, it's what they are. I can't put real analysis on if their safeties are shifting the best when they're in cover 3 versus cover 2, and how Georgia is going to take advantage of it with play action and deep ball fakes. I'm not going to do that. It's Magic team. That's what it is, and that's all we can chalk it up to. Go fuck yourself if you think differently. This is what Magic team does. They made it this far. They're from the Big 12. That's what they do. All right? Go screw.
That is going to be make a really good
That's what it
clip.
is.
That's going to be the promotional clip for the show. I love that, man. There was the whole thought that I had in my head watching that game is like, God damn it, Sean was right. Sean was right.
How are we supposed to break this down? How are we supposed to break down that they're moving faster than Michigan? How can we put a number on that?
They're such a mismatch. They have so many disadvantages against everyone that they've played, but they just have that juice. It's things that the reason why I hate, look, analytics works in baseball, analytics works in basketball. The reason why I hate the analytics dorks who try to talk about football and try to throw all these big, stupid analytics jargon out there. The reason why I hate that, because this is the only sport where you can't quantify what the hell TCU just did.
Whatever the chaos is, you can't quantify chaos. I understand someone's going to say, what about hockey? Hockey's luck. That puck bounces around a lot. All right, it bounces a lot off the pipe. All right, hockey's luck, it's similar, but you can't quantify chaos. You can't do that. It's imagine playing someone for the first time. They said, we're going to run the triple option. You've never seen this. Buckle up, idiot. That's what it's like. Except they're not running the triple option. They're just finding ways. And you can't analyze finding ways. Maybe you just need to have a quarterback with a huge sack and 2 bowling balls in it.
There's that. There's that. But like the main thing here is that you can't, if a team it's one of the few sports where being motivated and having energy and you can outperform your talent level on the field if you're confident enough. It is, again, one of those few sports where you can do that. You can show up and be mismatched, undersized, going up against the best offensive line in the country, but you're flying like a bat out of hell on every single down. They're just getting going. They're just starting to get their energy, but you're just giving them throat punches on every single rep. And every time that you make a play, you've got more energy and you're feeding off of it. Find me the goddamn analytic that tells me how to quantify that. It's idiots.
It's like talking to girls in a bar. If you have that confidence, they don't know what you do. But if you show up to the singles convention, then you kind of understand the situation with everybody here. But if you walk into the bar like TCU is saying, hey, I'm that dude. And then, okay, instead of, hey, this is my name tag. What do you do? Do you like coffee? I'm not high on scones, but a nice bagel.
Is that your opener? Do you like coffee?
No, that's not. Hell no. You know my opener.
Look, separate from I really pray for whatever poor young lady that you do not open with that line. And I also hope
You
that
don't like
whoever the future of your future wife is not attracted to that.
you don't like that Thanksgiving?
It's funny, but it's not a good.
Do you
oh,
think I
God.
opened with that, Joe?
Yes.
You think
Yeah.
no?
I remember back in sophomore.
Let's
Actually, no, it
be
wasn't
easy
sophomore.
with the memory game here.
Well,
Let's be
it
easy
was
with the remember game.
when you were first single and you were on Tinder. You shared with me your openers, and one of them was I remember this distinctly, and I've been waiting to reference this on the show. It was
do so.
it was your jaw is bad, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Oh, that's enough for me on this show.
That was the
No,
wait,
Joe
do I-
like bad.
That's what it was.
Oh,
It was something like that, and I just distinctly
that
remember, and
reeks.
I'm like, there's no way that works. And your rationale was they all ask, what does that mean? And then
get
you
him out of
tried
that conversation, and
you
then
tried
make,
to
get him
you
out of
tried
that
to play-
conversation. Then
you
then
tried
maybe
to
get
play
the
it
number.
off. It was like you were from like Europe, and you're like, oh, it's something that we say back in Virginia.
Oh, it's
Like,
so
you're some
stupid.
distinguished individual with a very intricate dialect that you were bringing.
I
to
was
this
obviously trying to be
conversation.
somebody, and it obviously it was not me.
You're a buffoon.
I hate that you remember that. I blocked that out, and now I'm not gonna. Oh, you hurt a friend today. That's what you did. You have successfully hurt a friend.
You don't
today.
understand. I have been hanging on to that reference and just been waiting.
You decided
for the
to hurt me because I
opportunity.
joked around about saying that thangin', and then you decided.
I'm
to
not
really
hurting
hurt
you.
me.
That's
that hurt
dude.
me. That
hey,
hurt
man,
me.
No. The amount of
I'll
times
post a
that you and
picture
I
of
have to. The amount of times that you and I have done awkward and uncomfortable things because we're weird individuals and that we've reshared it on this show. It is open game, man. It is the whole point of this show.
That's stuck
in
me
the
in the
title.
chest. That I'm finding it hard to breathe right now. Actually,
You were so confident about that opener too. Oh God, I think I ruined Sean's night. I'm really sorry.
I should have been run over by a car.
The problem was, and
You should have done it.
The really concerning part, Sean, about all of this is that Riz worked. It worked. It actually worked because you showed me the conversation.
That shouldn't work on anybody. I should know. That should have been you're expelled for even thinking that you had it for lack of common sense and thinking that would work. It should not have been I should not have been able to hold up at that institution out of this person is too dumb. That's what it should have been. It should have been the president intervening in my social life and saying, hey, if you think that this is going to work, then you do not represent us.
Riz 101 with Sean Anderson.
That's right.
I think that's a good note to wrap us up on. At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio. It's not a college football show, man. It's not. Thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry.
Me too.
Everybody.
I am also.
Have a blessed year and
no follow-up questions, please.
Praise be with you. Drive safe. I don't know.